My name is Oren Onken. I am an elder law attorney practicing just outside of Portland, Oregon. Today I am going to tell you more than you ever wanted to know about what happens to your personal property when you die. My last video was about powers of attorney. That one was too long. I wanted to do a video on what happens to all your property when you die, but that would also be too long. So I am dividing it up into 4 parts: personal property, jointly owned property, beneficiary designation, and wills. This video is about personal property. By personal property, I mean your couch and your TV and that collection of Mickey Mouse watches you have up in the closet. I am also referring to your cars, boats, and trailers. Cars, boats, planes, and trailers have a title that is registered with the government. The stuff in your house doesn't. What happens is a little different depending on whether or not the piece of property is titled by the government. First, let's deal with the stuff in your house, the property that is not registered with the government. The thing to remember is that people in the legal system don't care about this stuff. I have great personal property. I love my personal property. No matter how great I think it is, if I were to sell it on eBay or at a garage sale, I just would not get much money for it. Because it isn't worth much money, once you are dead, nobody who practices probate law cares what happens to it. We want your family to make it go away without too much fuss. Families manage to dispose of personal property with varying amounts of anguish. The relatives gather around and divide up your stuff. They keep some, donate some, and take some of it to the dump. In some families, there are people cleaning out your house within moments of your being dead. In other families, they are organized and respectful. Some families have a member who gets all tweaked out about some item of personal property because it has sentimental value. Lawyers hate that. Family dynamics only make sense if you are in the family. From the outside, those dynamics look like crazy. Probate lawyers who get involved in disputes over personal property are mocked and shunned by other lawyers. Lawyers and judges don't want to hear about Grandma rolling over in her grave because Cousin Dave didn't get that pristine 8-track tape player she wanted him to have. Here are some lessons about personal property that I have learned over the years. 1. Collections are a hobby, not an investment. Grandma's collection of ceramic ladybugs isn't worth squat. 2. If you have a safe, within a few hours after your death, it will be empty and no one with access to the area will have any idea what happened to the contents. The contents will never be found. That is just the way it is. 3. Cars have value if you need to go somewhere. They are always worth less than you think they are. If you have a rebuilt collector car, it is worth even less. Nobody in the real world wants those things. 4. Lawyers can almost never get items of personal property out of the hands of another relative and into your hands without it costing hundreds of times the value of the property in legal fees. 5. If you want to make sure that Uncle John gets your family heirloom double-barrel shotgun, give it to him while you are still alive. Once the relatives have divided up the household goods, somebody is going to have to deal with the cars, trucks, boats, and trailers. If it is a motor vehicle, you will have to deal with your Department of Motor Vehicles. How you transfer the vehicle through the DMV will depend on whether your estate is going through probate or not. Probate is the process of administering a will through the court systems. If your estate is going through probate, there will be a personal representative. Also known as an executor, this person represents the dead person. The personal representative is the person authorized to transfer title to the vehicles, and the vehicles go to the person named in the will. If there is no will, it goes to the heirs. If there is no probate, usually because the dead person died with very little, the DMV has forms to fill out by the heirs that will transfer the vehicle from the name of the dead person to the dead person's heirs. Boats, floating homes, manufactured homes, and other odd bits of personal property all have their own bureaucracy that handles these things. You just Google the agency in your state that keeps these records, download the forms, and follow the directions. That is the end of personal property. My next video on inheritances will be about joint ownership. Feel free to comment about this video below. To find my webpage and books, Google Oren Onken.